Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit of CynicalBrit.com and the YouTube channel Total Halibut, and just giving you a quick roundup right here of Gamescom. I suppose we could call it Day Zero. Insisting on calling it Day Zero, it sounds a little pretentious, but whatever the case, was the press-only day of Gamescom, and just wanted to keep you up to date on what exactly you can be expecting on the channel over the next couple of days, and the games that we managed to have a go of. The day started out quite nicely. We ended up with Riot for the first ever look at League of Legends Dominion. That video should be out by the time you are seeing this. It is a full 25-minute commentated matchup alongside interview assets, so it was good. There's no real question about that. And if you're looking for a great idea of what Dominion actually is, you will get it simply from that video. All of the videos we'll be taking will, of course, be off-screen capture with our Canon XA10, which turns out is very, very good at that kind of thing. All of the videos should be in 1080p, assuming that we don't have any other problems with it. Where we can, we do get direct audio, but a lot of the times, bearing in mind it is convention, getting direct audio is not necessarily possible. So things like, say, League of Legends don't have it, but Knights of the Old Republic, or indeed the Old Republic, the mistake I keep making, yeah, my cameraman's staring at me like, don't do that. Yeah, the Old Republic, of course, the MMO coming from BioWare and EA. We have direct feed from that, which means you get all the voice acting. We also have direct feed from Guild Wars PvE, which means you get 40 minutes of wonderful voice acting and in-game sound and music from that as well. And that's quite important since it's fairly dialogue and cutscene heavy. Now, aside from that, the other things we saw, which we did indeed capture, include Bohemia Interactive's Arma 3, as well as the new remake of Carrier Command and Take on Helicopters, which might be interesting to some of you that are into simulations. I believe I actually turned the engine off in the mid-flight, so it didn't work out so well for me. I'm not very good at Take on Helicopters. We also got a chance to talk to Wargaming.net about their forthcoming titles, World of Warplanes and World of Battleships. There is no real footage available of that as of yet, although we did get to see World of Warplanes in action. It does look pretty solid. If you're a World of Tanks fan, you should be into that. And also, a good piece of information, by the way, you're actually going to be able to transfer experience and gold from World of Tanks into World of Warplanes. So if you invest a lot in World of Tanks, then you're going to reap rewards for that. Once again, there was no footage of that. We're not actually able to film it, but whatever the case, I can tell you that it is looking pretty solid indeed, and I actually have an event coming up in London later on this year, which we'll no doubt be attending and having a look at both of those titles. Now, aside from that, we also got footage of Terra Online, which actually was really solid. I was pretty impressed by it. It's a bit of an action MMO, so that means you're clicking in order to attack in the same style as perhaps Vindictus and DC Universe. Graphically very impressive. You can actually play an angry beaver, which I was pretty impressed by. That was good. And we also had a look at Star Trek Infinite Space, which is a browser-based Star Trek combat game. Not too shabby whatsoever. We also had a look at Wildstar. Sadly, that was cut a little bit short by the fact that a lot of very loud Prodigy was playing in the background. And we couldn't continue it because what we're going to do? We can't do that. We're going to end up infringing copyright. That would be terrible. But whatever the case, we will most likely have another look at Wildstar because certainly from the cinematics and the actual art style have gone for interesting cartoony look that is not anime, and also while it is a traditional hotkey MMO, it does have some unique elements, including the path system, which determines what kind of side missions you will get, as well as a dodging system, which actually rewards you for evasion. So you get what's called a momentum bonus and an evasion bonus, and you can use the double S tap to dodge attacks. So it's actually quite interesting. So we'll be looking perhaps at a little more of that if we get a chance on the show floor. Now, what else did we do on that day? Trying to remember, honestly. We actually ended the day with quite the bit of footage. You should enjoy this. This also should be going up today. That's Star Wars The Old Republic, commentated with Rockjaw. Yes, that's Stephen Reed. You should be aware of who he is if you've been following BioWare. He is quite the character, and he was extremely kind. He let us get in there for a private showing of it. We were able to get a good 20, 25-ish minutes of footage with direct audio feed. So you're going to hear all the voice acting. You're going to see whether or not all of these promises of amazing voice acting throughout the series are actually true. We shall find out, and you shall find out as well. And, of course, it's co-commentated by Stephen Reed. He's actually playing the game as well. And he tells us we can go back today for some more gameplay footage. So what we're going to be doing is presenting that, and then I'll be presenting my full, unedited, raw, hands-on of that particular title. Now, I believe that almost covers pretty much everything, although we did actually see some stuff from Paradox as well. We're going back to have a look at some more of their stuff. We got a nice lengthy video on King Arthur 2, so if you're interested in the role-playing war game, as it's called, from Neocore, you'll be able to check all of that out. Gives you a look at both the campaign map and the battle map, so if you want to see some dragons incinerating some fools, that's what you're going to be getting right there. Once again, that's also co-commentated by one of the guys from Neocore. And we also got an interview with Fat Shark, and Fat Shark, you might remember, that's Lead and Gold, as well as Hamilton's Great Adventure. And they are producing a new game, which they just announced yesterday. We've got the first ever interview on that. It's called War of the Roses. It's going to be basically a Call of Duty style game set in the War of the Roses. So it's all melee as well as early gunpowder weapons and things like that with a progression system and unlocks. So that sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to telling you all about that. And that was a really solid interview there. We've got a lot more coming, folks. We're trying to get all of the games that you asked for. Obviously, some of them are a little bit difficult. Some of them we can't film. So we're concentrating on the ones that we can. As I was saying, we have Guild Wars 2 coming up. There is about an hour of footage, 40 minutes of PvE, including character creation for the Char, as well as, of course, direct line in, full voice acting, and a PvP session with the lead systems designer on co-commentary showing you the PvP of Guild Wars 2 with multiple classes. So I'm thinking that you might like that. I certainly did. I enjoyed that very much. And we've got all of that plus loads more footage coming up for you from the floor of Gamescom 2011. So stay tuned on youtube.com/TotalHalibut. If you haven't already subscribed, you probably should. Just click the subscription button on the page, and that's the best way to keep track of all of the videos we're uploading. And as I said, we'll be staggering it across the next few days. We're not going to upload, say, 10, 12 videos in one day. That would be silly. So you can keep an eye on things. And, of course, if you do want to request a title that you know is here and we might be able to film, post it in the last mailbox that I did, the one that where I requested that you let us know exactly which games you want. And I've already told you the games that we already have. And we'll try and keep on that and get as much footage as humanly possible for you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Total Biscuit, and I shall see you next time.